Hello, everyone, to Kaurs Corner. Today we're here with Will Davis. He is running for MP with Port Moody Coquitlam. And Will, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolute pleasure. I appreciate speaking with you.
Yeah, we're excited because we really want to know, and we want to make the right decisions for the country, and we always want the right people. So we've done these questions with other MPs or MP candidates,
sure.
And we want to know a little bit more about your party and what they're going to do to address some of their issues.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Thank
so
you.
Our first question is, how does your party aim to work with Indigenous communities?
Well, it's essential that we get this right, and we get it right starting now and moving through for generations. This issue, not unlike the environment, actually, is one that is incumbent upon this generation to hand off to the next with positive opportunity and growth. So this is a nation-to-nation relationship. They are a part of our partnership in the country that we need to ensure that there is resources, shared opportunity economically with our Indigenous nations, and we need to also make sure that we follow through on what we've started in 2015. The Liberal Party of Canada has a solid track record since 2015. We heard and understand the Truth and Reconciliation report, and we are prioritizing making actions that respond to the recommendations in that Truth and Reconciliation report. And it's essential that we all work together to make sure that there's an autonomy and a positive opportunity moving forward, and that includes recognizing and dealing with the residential school reality and reconciling that moving forward.
Yeah, because as teachers ourselves, we've been embedding the Indigenous education within the system, and we see the importance. And again, very important, because I think they also stand for the environment, which leads us to ask into the.
If I could, on that front, I've been involved in our schools. I heavily involved in all our schools and our daycare, preschool. Sadly, I'm now aged out, so I'm just at our elementary, middle, and high school. It is essential that we support all the opportunities to educate and inform our kids moving forward on the very complex file, that we tell the proper story, the proper history.
Yes.
And my wife is a kindergarten teacher, so she also is very grateful for the opportunity to get this straight, get moving forward.
Yes, appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
the environment.
The environment.
Pardon me.
No worries. I totally get it. Like, once we're thinking, it's better to just say it as we go.
Good.
Yeah. So the environment, the UN came out, the latest UN climate report said that we need to act now. The environment's, it's pretty much, if it's now or never. If we don't do something now, we're not going to be able to, our kids are not going to be able to see this world. I feel, the amount of, I just went to the museum too, and they were talking about climate change and how it affects us. It's scary.
Absolutely is.
Yeah,
and
the policy.
So first of all, on a personal level, I have 5 children, and it is with their blessing, their support, and with their future and every child's future in my heart as I move forward running this campaign. It is essential that we manage our role in the environment immediately. This is a climate crisis, and I feel very proud to be part of the Liberal team that has been working since 2015 with the most progressive approach of any government ever in Canada. It is essential that we continue to fight emissions. We've introduced and we put a price on polluters with a carbon tax, and we've also began to get ahead of an economy that will clearly go green. Clean tech, green tech, the investments are essential to not only our future and the planet, and making sure that we again, hand off to the next generation the right attitude, the right work, the right structures in place to move forward, but also an economy that works for us. Currently, we have approximately $7 billion in exports in clean and green tech. It's only going to grow. And the opportunity is to continue to grow the economy through the clean and green sector, and also to curb our behaviors, including by 2035, ending the production of combustion engines and turning our factories, specifically in Southern Ontario, into places where we're building cars that are good for the environment. We're going to ban plastics, single-use plastics, on a go forward. So the track record since 2015 is incredible, and the proposed plans moving forward are aggressive. We'll meet our 2050 targets and exceed them. We'll protect old growth forests. We'll plant 2 billion trees. It is clear that we're on the right track because former BC Green leader Andrew Weaver has endorsed our plan fully, and all our candidates. And also Professor Descartes at SFU, who's an eminent science and economics, or environment and economics prof at SFU, has given us a score of 8 out of 10 on our plan, and it is by far the best plan. And you compare that to the plan that the NDP has pushed forward at 50% reduction, and their score, based on it being feasible and economic, is a 2 out of 10. It's clear that we talk the talk, we walk the walk, and we have proper plans.
It's nice to hear about the collaboration. Like you said, Andrew Weaver has supported that. So as you know, we have been going around talking to different candidates. We've talked to NDP, we've talked to Conservative, and actually yesterday we ended up doing a bit of canvassing, not on behalf of a candidate, but going door to door and just kind of asking, are you planning on voting in the upcoming election, and what are some issues that you really are concerned about? And one of the biggest ones we found door to door was the vaccine issue, the vaccine mandate. And even a lot of our viewers sent in questions asking us to ask people who are running what privilege and what the words right to choose mean to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's clear that vaccines work, first of all. And this has been a incredible journey. The fight against COVID isn't over. Mm-hmm. And it's important that we recognize that the vaccines are based in science. They are reviewed and supported and promoted by our doctors, our experts. This is not, something that isn't safe. It's clear that it protects us against COVID on a go forward. As someone who has a mother in long-term care and with 2 children under the age of 12 who can't get vaccinated, it's essential that we all act responsibly. Mm-hmm. We need to have, people vaccinated. We cannot force people to get vaccinated. We will not force people to get vaccinated. They will have the right to choose, but they also have the right or the responsibility to go forward. Mm-hmm. That will mean we need to make sure that people are getting tested, they're masking, and they're keeping the social distance. We all need to understand going to a Canucks game is a privilege.
Definitely.
It's not a right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of the time when we were talking about privilege, I think people were getting it confused with, or comparing it to you're taking away rights, issues that were more related to the BIPOC community, and it's not that. Like eating at a restaurant or going to a game, that's an extracurricular. It's an extra thing, and if you want to be part of it, I think we agree with that. Mm-hmm. It's your responsibility to make sure you're protecting yourself and everyone around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also wanted to talk about the housing market, because I tried to buy a house in the last. It took us a year because in this environment, it's insane, because I feel like I went to school, did all these things, and you think I'm going in the right direction, that I can't even afford a house. It's really like a decent house within this neighborhood. Like we ended up going out to Chilliwack instead of staying in Surrey. Like it's that point. Like it's really difficult these days, and I'm not the only one. A lot of us millennials are feeling that, and again, concern for everything that's in the future. Because by 2050, I remember reading an article a few years ago in like the province, and they said it'll be by 2050, Vancouver area will be for millionaires. So I don't know. I just feel
like how can we make it affordable? Because a lot of us are making decisions about family, decisions about work, and like I know so many people that want to have kids. You've got 5 yourself, but we feel like is it a right decision to have a kid? Like we can't even afford an extra bedroom for them to be in. So what is the platform for housing?
Well, again, everyone deserves a place they can call home.
100%.
Right? And so our party has organized and put forward in our platform a substantial housing plan, and it includes 3 pillars. And the first one is making it so there's more available in the market. So we have pledged to rebuild or build 1.4 million new homes in the next term. And that means that we can increase what's in the market, which helps, when there's more available. It's the way markets work. Prices can get regulated down based on that. Secondly, we're going to support first-time owners with a $30,000 initial support to buy their first home, and also creating a tax-free and interest-free savings account for up to $40,000, kind of like an RSP.
Okay.
Where young people or first-time homeowners can use that money to put for their down payment. So that's important to make sure that people can access the opportunity to even get in the market. Now, thirdly, and I think to your point around trying hard to find places, we're going to regulate who's in the game. So lots of profiteers, lots of big developers, lots of foreign owners are driving prices up, buying places up, and so we're going to work on getting those people on a fair level playing field, including removing blind bids on homes, including working on regulating how foreign buyers buy and can't. So these important parts are not one thing but everything in terms of housing. We need to make sure that opportunity, like generations before I've had, can be available moving forward. I have 5 kids, like you said. At some point I want this to be their hometown, and we're going to work hard to make sure affordability is possible so that I can take my grandchildren to the same soccer fields that I took my kids to.
Exactly, that's what a lot of us would like. And it's just like it hurts to know that we have to shift up. But I think there's also a part in the policies or I feel like it needs to be a little bit more accessible compared to our Vancouver region. I feel like it was difficult to find a house within the range that the policy has. I think it's like $750,000, right? But if you want to buy something higher than that, you can't get a house for $750,000, right? So I feel like some of the policies, I'm hoping, will be changing, but
to address the price, the actual price point in the Lower Mainland.
Another big issue that came up when we were talking to people was the issue of voter reform. So we spoke to people who said, I really want Trudeau to win, but I really want somebody NDP local, or I really want Jagmeet to win, but I really want someone who's a Liberal locally. And not being able to have that voice in the provincial or your municipal and then your federal level, I think is a bit of a struggle for a lot of us. Is there something on voter reform that your party is going to be addressing?
Well, it's certainly something that we take seriously, and but it's something I haven't necessarily heard lots at the doors. And I've knocked on and called many people in this riding. It is not a priority, but people are prioritizing our housing and affordability. They're prioritizing the Indigenous relationship. They're prioritizing how we're going to tackle climate change in a real way. How their kids are going to afford school and get to good paying jobs. It's more about who's going to Ottawa that can speak for us in this riding. This is what I'm hearing. People want to know that someone understands this riding, someone who's from this riding is helpful. Our family is, my kids are born and raised, this is our hometown, and they want to know that someone who's from here is going to go to Ottawa and work on their behalf and be their voice.
Perfect. And just our last question for you, I guess, as voters, how can we trust that your party will follow through on the promises of the campaign?
Well, I'm pleased to say that lots of what we've seen since 2015 has come to fruition. Some of it has been modified. For example, the water advisories. There's no longer any water advisories in BC, but we're only at 70% fully complete in the country, with 10% on the last stage of being completed. The work that started since 2015 will continue since 2015. The reset in our reality is COVID. It's changed everything. That's why this is so consequential that we get this right this time. There's real plans put on the table for the biggest and most important files, including housing and affordability, including the climate, and including our Indigenous nation-to-nation building. Those plans are costed and budgeted and laid out in our platform, and there is a record for us to run on and prove that we can deliver on all those very important things that matter to Canadians.
Yeah, and it does take time to follow through on all those promises, so we're halfway through that 4-year term.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining us at Kaurs Korner. Again, this is Will Davis. He's the Liberal candidate running for Port Moody, Coquitlam, and just make sure you have all the information for the upcoming election. Early voting begins on this Friday.